Hickok 45 here, or am I Jeremiah Johnson? Yeah, boy, got the Hawken rifle, the Plains rifle, the Great Plains Rifle back out. It's not just a Plains rifle, I think it's great. No, actually, that's the name of it, the Great Plains Rifle from Lyman. And I'm going to do chapter 2 with it. It's a beautiful fall day. It's November. I don't know how many more days we'll have like this, where, you know, it's been sunny and a little brisk, but not much at all. And these days were made for muzzle loaders. They're made for black powder and white smoke, and especially big bore muzzle loaders, I think. So I was anxious to shoot it, so I think John sneaked up on me with the camera. We're going to make it a chapter 2, okay? Happen to have it loaded, so it's a dangerous weapon, isn't it? It's loaded. Can you see through that steel? There's powder and lead in there. All it needs is a cap to prime it. And so I'm going to turn around and do that. And again, hammer's got to be back for me to do that with this gun. So that's the way I do it. It's parked down range, pointed down range, and see the half cock is like almost against the nipple. All right. We always start out with this, I think it might be a coconut, I don't know. We've got a tree back here that produces those things, has for years. They seem like coconuts. I'm not sure why they're growing in Tennessee, but let's see if a 54 caliber ball will pierce one. It did. Milk coming out too. Look at that. I'll be darned. That's a smoky coconut shot. I wonder in the annals of history how many coconuts have been shot with a Hawken rifle, Hawken style rifle. Hawken, Great Plains, kind of synonymous. Hawken was actually a company, that was the name. Samuel and Jacob, I think, Hawken brothers, that made these in St. Louis back in the mid-19th century. And they were one of the best made. There were others, but they were one of the really good ones. And this is a kind of a replica of those. It's a fairly close facsimile of the original Hawken. You know, this is considered to be one of the more authentic looking Great Plains or Hawken style rifles out there. It looks a little bit plain Jane to you, maybe without the brass and everything. But it looks a lot like the ones you see, the real ones that you see. So pretty cool. We went over a lot of that in the first video, so I'm not going to go into a lot of that history. This is just the time to shoot it on a beautiful fall day. Okay, as usual, we're going to use the real black powder 2F, shooting about 85 grains. Got up there. Got me a new little powder measure I found somewhere. They're pretty cool. I like these simple ones. The one I've used a lot is that one, and this is just like it. Just has a little spout on it. So pretty cool stuff. Kind of lasts a while. It's made of brass, and yeah, it's not even dirty yet. This is the one I used to measure, make sure I know what I'm getting. This was Dad's, and it's kind of cool too. You can measure. It's got a spout. Well, these do too, but this is a little different. Okay, powder. All right. Ball, my Wonderloo patch balls, 54 caliber, and again these are some Hornady balls, 54 530 thousandths is the size on them. Okay, lead balls for muzzle loading of all things. So this barrel has the slow twist, so it's made for round balls instead of conical projectiles, you know, for hunting like a mini ball and that sort of thing. Okay. And I wanted that because I've got plenty of rifles that are made for the mini ball, and I thought I'll just have one that is for the patched ball. Okay, I normally open that up. We talked about that in other muzzleloading videos. If you are new to the channel, go to the other Hawken video, Great Plains Rifle video, some of the others, and I go into some of that about loading and, of course, pretty much detail about how to do it. Okay, you always point it down range. There we go. All right. My philosophy on, generally I open the cap and get some air in there so there's no embers in there, which I've never seen in my life, but they say it could happen. All right. Let's just go from close range, shooting coconuts, to, let's start out with a wake-up call to the gong. I hear it ringing. I've got to be careful and hold up just a little bit. The rear sight needs to come up a little more, but the screw's not long enough, so I'm having to hold kind of on the tops of the targets. But I heard that baby ring. Okay, so see, there's what I do. I go ahead and let it be airing out a little bit. I set it down here on the mat and load him up with the real stuff. Again, 2F GoX classic powder. It's been around forever. And Swiss is good too. I use both, but I've gotten to where I just go ahead and get the GoX. I'm really happy to have a Great Plains rifle, Hawken rifle back. It is fun to shoot. I got spoiled, I have to say, by shooting the mini balls. They're so simple to load. You got to wrap this really hard. Get it started. There we go. Make sure it's a tight fit, and that's how you get your accuracy. And I'm not sure what it is about it. I was telling John before the video, I've had 2 or 3 different Hawken rifles over the years, and where you had to use a patch ball basically. This one has a very smooth bore. When I don't think GoX has changed their formula, but I've noticed even after firing 6-8 shots, it just still stays smooth. You don't seem to get the crud built up. And I'm not sure what that is. It's not chrome lined, so I don't know. It's a pleasant surprise. I think maybe it's the Wonder Lube on these patches. I don't know. I know it's good stuff. All right, we're pointed down range. Let's put a cap on. One thing about the Civil War rifles that I like so much is the cap is so big. Those big old musket caps are easier to mess with. All right. Oh yeah, I see where I hit. All right. I think what I end up doing, it shoots a little bit low and right, just a hair, so I have to allow for that. Let's see if we can hit a ram. Let's say that right one on the top row. I'm gonna hold on the top of his back. All right, got him. I tell you, that is fun. That is fun. Seeing something heavy get knocked over. I don't know, there's just something rewarding shooting a muzzle loader. If you've never done it before, maybe you can't relate to that. And I know I say that every time I get one of these out, but they're just cool. Some of you maybe don't do a lot of sports shooting with them like I do, but maybe you hunt with them. You could call that sports shooting, I guess. We won't argue about terms, but maybe you just have one that's an inline or whatever it is, and you hunt with it. You get a sense of that too, having one shot, knowing that one shot has to count. So you get a little bit of that feeling. But it's just cool knowing it's such a primitive firearm, and yet it works. And it's the kind of thing people had to use for so long, especially the flintlock. You think about all the different firearms that come about these days, but you know, back in the flintlock era, you could have been born and the firearm your parents had hanging over the fireplace, which was the only firearm, the highest tech firearm around, was a flintlock. And when you were 75 years old, the same type of firearm would have been hanging there, a flintlock, you know, no Glocks. So, but we're accustomed to a lot of innovation in firearms, although, you know, cartridges and primers still rule the day, don't they? That's kind of what you have here. You just make your own cartridge. All right. Let's try that other ram. Sometimes they don't want to fall, even getting hit by a big chunk of lead. Okay. And then, of course, if you miss them, they really don't like to fall. Yeah, these fall days are made... I mean, we were in no desperate rush to do a chapter 2 with, of course, this firearm. Sometimes we do a chapter 2 video, you know, pretty soon, but after the initial. But you know, this weather is going to be going away, and I was in the mood to burn some of this stuff. Well, it doesn't really smell. The smoke of it smells good, though. You folks, my usual lecture, if you shoot muzzle loaders, especially traditional muzzle loaders like this, and you're using Pyrodex or a black powder substitute, you know what I'm going to advise. Get you some black powder. Enjoy the mess. Okay? Enjoy it. Revel in it. It smells and feels like history. All right. In fact, as I probably pointed out before, I did when I was doing cowboy shooting. I shot for the most of the years. I shot Frontier cartridge, which is black powder in cartridges, and a lot of people kind of think the black powder era ended with these things. But up until around 1900, a little before, depending on what your firearm you're talking about, or cartridge, but that powder in those cases was this stuff. Yeah. So modern smokeless didn't come about really in any big way until the 1890s, and then of course that was it. Well, I think I could hit a pig with this thing. We'll try that top pig. I couldn't see through the smoke, but I see he's down, so I must have hit him. I think I'm batting 1,000. How's that for a good way to jinx yourself? We're not going to shoot, 30 or 40 rounds for you. We might shoot 100, but we're going to send you all away before we get to that. How's that? Nah, we'll keep here a little while I enjoy this thing. Oh, nice. This is 2F. I said that, didn't I? And again, the reason you use a powder measure is to measure the powder for one thing, but also if you did have a flash up, then it's just like 80 grains are going to go burning very fast there instead of a whole can in your hand. So you don't pour out of the can. Would not be wise. Okay, try to get the ball kind of in the middle there. All right, I'm gonna have to pound it, John. You gotta have gotta hit that really hard. The trick is to hit it. I'm gonna hit it really hard the first time, and it doesn't hurt you. But if you hit it, it's just like karate, and you're breaking boards or something. You want to really wrap it smartly the first time, and it works just fine. It doesn't hurt, but it's worse when you don't hit it hard enough. I'm trying to say, look at this bee. I think we could shoot that rascal. That's one of those aggressive yellow jackets, isn't it? That's what that is. Where's my Bowie knife? Let's take him out. Okay. On 3. 1, 2. Just kidding. There's no cap on the gun. You knew that. Plus, he's a sweet looking little bee. He deserves to live too. Or does he? All right. I'm going to get that other pig. I just kind of like the idea of cleaning off that row up there. Now you watch. It'll take 12 shots to get it. Like I say, I've used a little bit of Kentucky windage because it goes a little bit low right point of aim. At least at long range. There we go. Thank you, Kentucky. We appreciate you allowing us to borrow your tactics and all that. Okay, your procedures. Nice, nice. So we'll shoot a couple more or something. I guess we ought to shoot a 2-liter. Make sure one of these balls will go through a 2-liter. Yeah, these are fun. Again, I know there's something about the fall. Maybe it's just me. If you're a hunter, you can probably relate to it. In the fall, you probably, I don't know, get more in the mood to hunt. But I don't know, I get in the mood to shoot. Well, I'm always in the mood to shoot, but there's something about the muzzle loaders. All right. I could stand here all day on a beautiful fall day and really just load and shoot one of these. Well, you know, might take a break, might have a little lunch, but it's just cool. And that's another thing. I don't know if I've talked about that before, but when you're going to shoot muzzle loaders, it is a good, it's a wise choice to just do muzzle loaders, because it's messy and you get all the stuff, the paraphernalia, the accoutrements, and you'll enjoy it more. I know when I used to have to go to a range to shoot, I would do that too. I was going to be kind of a muzzleloader day, and I would take it and shoot it, and that was what I was going to do that day. Rather than, you know, well, there were no Glocks in the 70s, but rather than take, you know, 4 or 5 modern guns and switch around, and it's hard to get excited about this and all of this, you know, if you've also got your high capacity 9mm and a bunch of mags and different things. I don't know what it is about that, but it just works better for me. If I just set aside time, I'm in the mood like I am today to shoot a charcoal burner. Kind of bothers me. There's another ram over there. He thinks that he might escape the lead. I believe he's the one that doesn't want to fall sometimes, but see if we can encourage him. All right. Oh, I was going to shoot a 2 later. I'm sorry, all those animals over there entice me. Let me take one out. Like I said, we'll just fire a couple more. Of course, you got to watch me. A couple, as John knows, might mean 10. I can always go into my speed load mode if I need to. I can really speed up when I want to. Okay. I lose track of how many shots I've fired sometimes with these things. You feel like you're really not shooting it much, 4 or 5 times, but it starts to add up. It's still going down there bore just pretty smoothly, and I'm not cleaning it. Oh yeah, I was going to shoot a 2 liter. I quit lying about it and do it. In case I don't shoot them both, let's see some green activity here. Now watch me miss it. I hope you got to see it explode. I didn't. That is one thing about these. When you shoot, you often don't know what you hit. Must be interesting hunting with one, because if you hit the deer, time the smoke clears, depending on which way the wind's blowing, you might never know whether you hit it. So, pretty cool. What else about these things have I not pointed out to y'all before? You know, some of them have a patch box, or you keep patches on the side. This one does not. This is 54 caliber. In the big bore line, the 50s are popular. 54s is pretty popular. You don't see as many 58 calibers in the Hawken Great Plains style rifle, but you do see them. In fact, I had one. As you can imagine, I wanted the biggest caliber at one point, but I have settled on the happy medium. This 54, I kind of like it. The balls don't drop quite as fast over there as far as trajectory, and it's plenty big. 54 caliber is nothing to sneeze at. I used to, in the early days, I cast my own muzzle loading balls. Now I just buy it. I don't really have the time to get into 1,000 different things, so I just buy them no more than I shoot them. But I used to cast those. I used to cast 44 Magnum bullets and everything. 357 bullets, 38s. I just don't do that anymore. For one thing, they weren't as available back then in the 70s. So, but these are, if you are wanting to get into bullet casting of any kind, or balls, that sort of thing, casting for one of these is pretty rewarding, because it's just pure lead, soft lead, and you don't shoot that many. You could just go out like once a year and spend an hour or 2 casting, and you're set. You know. Okay. Oh, I know what we got. That cinder block. Boy, it's so quiet on this fall afternoon. They make little cappers that you can use for these, but I don't use them. Okay, let's hit that cinder block. I mean, that's what Jeremiah Johnson would have done, wouldn't he? If he saw a cinder block, he would have taken a shot at it. Okay, he took some of it out. You might notice I'm taking more time aiming, because a little bit, because I have to allow one more shot. I promise, just one more. I have to allow for Kentucky windage a little bit there, and then also that's one of the things that's pretty cool about these. If you're hunting, if you go back 150 years, whether you eat tonight or not, or for the next few days, could depend on where your sights are when you pull that trigger. You know, you get one bad shot, and that might be the only game that you encountered or something. So you can relate to that, and you just have the one shot. You can't do a follow-up shot. You know, at least I haven't figured out a way to do that with any speed, with any serious speed. Oh, almost dry ball. Let's put powder in. Okay, make sure she's aired out there. Don't you love that big bore? Those of you who love large caliber firearms, most of us do. Even if you carry a 380, you still, if you're a shooting enthusiast, you still have a special place in your heart for these large caliber firearms. It's just cool. That dust from the powder down there. All right. Quite fun. We've awakened the gong. We've killed enough game over there. What, a couple of goats, a couple of pigs. They feed us for, gosh, maybe a couple of months. So we might just finish off that other 2-liter. It's good to get, you know what I'll do too? I think I've done this before. I was going to maybe do it again to show you. Oh, I just lost that round, that ball. You think it'll go off if I step on or hit it with a lawnmower? As I pointed out somewhere along the way, I know it's how you load these, maybe in the first video, I don't remember. I've lubed this patch a little bit on the end here. Actually, I sprayed a little ballast on it. A lot of people just do it this way. You have a strip of the bed ticking. And these are pre-cut I've been using, of course. And you just put it over there, put the ball in there. You do the same thing. You use your shirt tail, right? You really could. You just need to seal it, you know. You cut that off, just flush with the top. That's my patch knife, a little hunter's pal, Puma. Then you send it on down. So if you're not using pre-cut patches, that's what you do. And pre-cut, pre-lubed. Yeah, on the last shot, I'll do that. Don't want to over-lube that stuff. Although I've shot with some guys out at Owl Hollow Gun Club, old Charlie Hafner and some guys, they would just dip their patches down in a liquid. I remember the first time I did it with them, I had just gotten one. They kind of convinced me it was a way to go, try it out, you know. And I was out there with them, and I noticed they had these little jars. I don't know what I had for lube. I don't remember if I had anything. Maybe I didn't have a gun yet. I was just watching them and learning. But they had these little jars sitting on the shooting table, and they'd dip their patches down into it. And I started making a mistake. I was 22 years old, asking them, what's in that? What is that stuff? Because that was the thing I didn't know yet. How do you lube your patches? I was expecting some important intelligence there, you know, information. And here I am talking, make sure I'm down there. But, you know, and they messed with me a long time. They told me all kinds of things, some kind of special bear grease solution and everything else. And these guys are pros. They actually competed with them. So I knew they knew what to use. Well, come to find out, they finally quit messing with me and confessed it was like Ivory dishwashing detergent, you know, in water is all it was. But so I still like the idea of getting it too wet, because if you're just going to load it and shoot it, it's not a big deal. But if you're going to be carrying it around, maybe you're hunting or you're not going to shoot it for a while, you're going to maybe lose some of your powder to that liquid, you know. So something to keep in mind. Don't want any of you to get killed by a grizzly bear through negligence. Let's see. You know what? I don't think I am going to shoot. I'm just going to leave that 2-liter for another day. I just want to see the cowboy hit with a 54 caliber ball. Okay, because I've not really seen any of my hits over there. I've just seen the results when the smoke clears, the target's gone, maybe one on the gong. I just want to see some lead splatter on something. Mr. Cowboy, you're going to be it. There we go. The smoke cleared. All right, got him in the heart. Oh, that's cool. And you will notice maybe I painted that front sight since you saw it last. I don't think I had the white paint on there. Maybe yeah, I don't think I did. That helps a lot, really does. And I think that Jeremiah Johnson would have done the same thing, or Jim Bridger, or whoever, okay? Robert Redford. Right? So anyway, Chapter 2, I might stay and shoot it for another hour, but I know you need to get to dinner. This, you know, I enjoy my AR-15s and all those, but there's nothing like this, nothing like it. I hope you get a chance sometime to try it out with real black powder in a traditional muzzle loader. You may decide you don't like it. It may not be for you at all, but at least try it. You never know. Because it with some of you, I guarantee you, you'll be hooked. You will be hooked. And you might be into it more than I am even. And you might throw away all your modern firearms. But it's a lot of fun, and it's especially cool to have an authentic looking, pretty close to an authentic, you know, Hawken Great Plains or Plains style rifle. Namely, the Great Plains by Lyman. A nice rifle, I think. Oh, I guess I better shut up and quit shooting. Life is good. We'd like to thank one of our sponsors, SDI, the Sonoran Desert Institute. SDI has fully accredited distance learning programs where you can get certified in gunsmithing or even an associate's degree in firearms technology. Of course, the study includes hands-on experience, which is important, of course. So check it out. Go to sdi.edu or just click on the link in the description. Okay. And also, we'd like to remind you to check out the Hickok 45 Facebook page and the Hickok 45 and Son channel and its Facebook page, as well as Gun Culture Radio on iTunes. Now, remember all this, because I'm coming to your house randomly over the next year or two to give you a quiz on it, okay? Thank you.